I'm a Brit in progress. Welcome to the UK. Go on, let's have a drink together.
I'm the smoothest. Charles? I'm sorry, we've been drinking all afternoon. I am drunk.
Yes. Hello, friends and neighbors. You know what time it is. It's that time again. I'm gonna zoom in.
By zoom in, he means move it closer.
Move the tripod. I'm leaving this in the final cut. It's time again for Drunk News. Episode 2, Hating on Newspapers, Electric Boogaloo. This week we have, what is this?
It's the independent, but the fancy student version of the
independent. Weekend, the Independent Weekend newspaper, which is a left-leaning newspaper. And what is the other one we have?
It is the Daily Star, the least left-leaning, the most right-leaning newspaper in the UK. Apart from the Sun, which I will not buy because I am scalped.
That's what we're doing today. Today we're hating on both newspapers. Although I think we're going to be hating on mine a bit less.
I mean, the Star...
No, come back, poof.
Every other page is a naked women.
Which you'll see in a minute.
Let's show some tits.
Okay, so...
Yeah!
So I'm going to start.
Yeah, go for it.
Oh, look, the kitty has joined us. You can only see her tail.
She's coming. She's going to stand on my newspaper.
We're going to start with the front page of the Weekend. This is the newspaper of the year. Journalism you can trust.
It's pretty good.
This is for the Saturday and Sunday, the 14th to the 15th of November 2020. So that's the date for this newspaper.
Yeah.
It was £1.20. Fucking newspapers are expensive. He's the advisor to the president.
Yeah.
So he's more like the Dick Cheney of Boris Johnson.
Yeah, okay, he's Dick Cheney.
He's the Dick Cheney. He's the Dick Cheney to Boris Johnson.
But he's not a politician. He's not been elected. Is what I'm saying.
No, but it's the same idea though. This guy's not elected.
He's not elected. He's just a fucking dickbag. He's just a fucking dickbag.
He is the worst. I think my favorite thing and maybe this isn't just as an American thing, but my favorite thing that I remember about Dominic Cummings is back in April, I think it was.
May.
April when the lockdown in the UK was at its fucking lockdowniest. Dominic Cummings, when the whole country was you're not supposed to leave, you're not supposed to do any unnecessary travel, don't go anywhere, stay in your general vicinity. He was I'm gonna go check out a castle.
Yeah. And with
my family.
You know what? I have some articles later that I am going to...
Okay, cool. So we won't go into Dominic Cummings too much.
I'm going to do too much because I have some entertaining things I can read you. But okay, what's the title? I have to guess it.
Okay, so the first thing that we're gonna do.
No, wait, you have to do the title of the front page.
Fuck, I mean, you're just gonna go into it in a minute.
Oh, okay.
So fine, we'll skip my front page because it's mostly the same thing. Although I imagine that the context is somewhat different. First thing I want to talk about is it's in the health category.
Ooh.
And it's paying to jump the queue for the COVID vaccine will be banned in the UK.
Okay, so the COVID vaccine is something that they've said is 90% accurate as far as I'm aware.
Allegedly.
And I was assuming the COVID vaccine was going to be mainly based upon previous things. It's going to be mainly for healthcare professionals, NHS professionals, and people who are shielding. So I'm assuming they're going to try and legislate the fact that rich people can't just go, I want the COVID vaccine because I am rich. I assume that's what they're legislating, but I could be wrong.
Okay, well, I mean, there's always going to be a certain degree of rich people get what they want. But, you know, it says
Russian
here...
oligarchs, man.
It says here that a ministerial source at the Department of Health said that while private... Did I turn on the microphone? Okay, cool. I did turn on the microphone.
I see green on the side. Is that what it looks on?
So a ministerial source at the Department of Health said that while private healthcare providers are permitted to source vaccines from manufacturers such as BioNTech and Pfizer and other shit that I'm not going to bother with, intended for sale to put to their customers will be put at the back of the queue and not delivered until the UK government has received all of its orders. So essentially what they're saying is the private companies are going to get second priority of the doses bought by the UK government.
Well, that I would hope so, because quite frankly it should go to people who need it first.
Yes. A spokesperson from the Department of whatever the nonsense is the UK government has secured early access to 350 million vaccine doses through agreements with 6 separate vaccine developers. I don't know how I feel about that.
Ooh.
6 separate developers. I only want the one that works.
I mean, if they're developing the same vaccine, though,
it says that that they should potentially, with this amount of doses, be able to vaccinate the entire UK population at once.
Ooh, sneaky.
Allegedly. Which is weird because I thought for sure that it was just going to be healthcare workers and then they were going to be the guinea pigs.
Because it was something like 10 million or something like that.
I mean, I personally don't want anything. I don't want it until like the second or third iteration of the vaccine.
Well, and also it's kind of key that they vaccine people who are NHS workers, then people who are shielding, then whoever the fuck needs it. Because frankly, I don't need it. I'm working from home, and also I don't really need to work from
I'm not working at all. The last sort of piece of this that I want to mention for my first article is that health insurers such as Aviva, AXA, and WPA are understood to have ruled out private funding. Ruled out funding private vaccinations.
Oh.
So the top private healthcare companies in the UK, which are stupid, I hate private healthcare.
Can I just say, I love the NHS. They're fucking
allegedly
ballers, and I want to lick their faces, honestly.
So what's yours? What do you got with the Daily Star?
What I have is the Daily Star, which
you need to show the second page.
I just want to say, the Daily Star is a newspaper which is known for tits. So the second page, predictably, is tits.
You're going to find a lot less substance in this newspaper.
There's not a lot of substance, it's just all tits.
Do you have games and puzzles? I have games and puzzles.
I have games and puzzles. First page is Cummings goes. See ya!
I see what they were trying to do there.
It says, see ya!
Cummings goes. Ha ha ha.
Cummings goes. On page 4.
Oh, mine was, if we're going to talk about pages, mine was on page 10.
Yeah, mine's page 4, and it's Done and Dusted. Which means, done and dusted is a phrase.
It's a thing. There you
Dom
go.
and
Get it in the
dusted.
frame. You can do it.
Okay, so what do you think Dom and Dusted is about, Craig?
I don't know. I think it's about Dominic Cummings. The thing that I'm not sure about, that I didn't see it in my article about Dominic Cummings, and I haven't read yours, obviously, is whether he was kicked out or whether he left. Because those have two very different connotations.
Now, politics in the UK, let me preface this, is usually a case of, excuse me, we're going to fire you. Would you like to quit first? Someone has said to him, we're going to fire you. So he said, okay, I'm going to quit first.
I remember he was...
Cheers for the heads up.
I remember he was supposed to leave around Christmas. So, but like, I wonder if this early departure is him leaving or him being pushed out, because
it's him being pushed out.
Yeah. By the way, before we get farther into this, today we are drinking. This is my election night rum punch.
Yeah, we drank this on election night. We had a great time.
There's a recipe in the description box below and on the screen. Actually, it may not be on the screen. It depends.
Well, you'll find it somewhere.
It's somewhere.
Somewhere in the region of life.
Craig's election night punch.
So he goes to Boris Johnson and he says, "This is what you should be doing. Here is the PR thing that will look best for you, Boris. Put your hair in a floofy way and we will all like you better. Dominic Cummings fucked up various times.
What did he do?
He went to...
Balmoral Castle.
No, Barnard Castle.
Barnard Castle.
Barnard Castle. You know what? Actually, that comes up later in my newspaper, so
I spilled more drink on myself.
We will finally back in his box.
Like a genie.
As a box. As Cummings leaves his job at number 10. Dominic Cummings was sensationally sent packing last night, trudging glumly out of Downing Street, carrying his possessions in a cardboard box. That
I really hope we get to see a similar picture of Trump.
Or Boris. The PM's surly chief advisor, infamous for his eyesight testing drive to Barnard Castle during lockdown, left through the front door of number 10. The front door. He went for it. He was like, fucking, I don't give a shit what anyone
leaving
thinks
through
of
the front door. I'm not going through the loading dock.
Government sources confirm that he has gone with immediate effect. Either way, he's left. Everyone's having a party. Let's get drunk. There you go. That's the sum up of this particular part of the article.
The next thing that we're going to talk about from The Independent is what I have dubbed the American section.
The American section.
Which is especially pertinent to me, being American. So there's several stories here. I'm just going to talk about all of them. Trump will avoid running again in 2024 for fear of losing. I don't know about all that. Republicans hint that the president should concede. We're going to chat about that in a minute. Obama, democracy in danger.
Yeah, bye.
Indeed. Classrooms closed as U.S. infections surge out of control. Oh my fucking god.
Finally.
Election most secure in history. Democrats take Arizona for the first time since 1996. All eyes on Georgia, which could give Democrats the Senate. Spoilers, it won't. I have been deeply entrenched in American politics for the last couple of weeks, even though I tried really hard not to be.
Also, there's nothing in shitty newspapers.
Yeah, there's nothing in the right-wing newspaper about America in the election, which is weird.
The left-wing newspapers fucking all about America.
We've got like 4 pages of America.
Yeah.
Trump will avoid running again in 2024 for fear of losing. I think that he may try to run in 2024. I don't think that he will run as a Republican though. I think he'll run as an independent. Because I really do think that he is actually going to go through with trying to start his news network.
Well, he never believed in being a Republican.
No, but it was just the easiest way to go.
Yeah, he was a Democrat until he was Republican.
I think he's going to start his news network, Trump News, and then he's going to spend the next 4 years, catering to the psychotic right. And then he's going to make a run as an independent in 2024 and split the Republican vote. Anyway, the point is I think that this is wrong, and he will most definitely run in 2024.
Can I say I understand your feelings as a left-wing human being? I am left-wing. I am the most left-wing
Are you saying I'm not?
No, I'm saying you're very left-wing.
Republicans hint that the president should concede. I don't know when this was written, but the president gave a press conference yesterday where he...
14th.
The 14th. I don't know what today is. Yesterday, Trump gave a press conference in the Rose Garden where he very nearly misspoke. He was so close. Very nearly said that the next administration, which implies that it's not his because otherwise he would have just said mine. So he knows. So he's just being a twat. Classrooms closed as U.S. infection surge. This is the one that I thought was the most interesting because America doesn't seem to really have bothered with doing too much as far as the pandemic is concerned, again because of Trump. And even this only references Massachusetts. The next thing is the Democrats take Arizona, which is amazing. That's fantastic. It's awesome. And I saw earlier today that Arizona isn't going to do a recount because it's not. It's the margin is so much that it's not worth it, which is amazing. And the last sort of thing that I want to talk about is all eyes on Georgia, which could give Democrats the Senate. Spoilers, it won't. Even if the Democrats do win both of those runoff races, which I think is a far-fetched thing to consider. Even if they do win those, the corporate Democrats are still going to side with the Republicans, and there have been a couple of people that have said already that they plan to stand in the way of that they plan to stay in the way of progressive Democratic policymakers and their suggestions and laws. So next, you go.
Okay, so
that's the American section.
My
what do you
next
got?
article is the title is Ripper victims justice at last. Okay, tell me, what do you think?
Okay,
this is
so
about?
I remember you vaguely mentioning this at some point, but it's not Jack the Ripper like Victorian London. It's the Yorkshire Ripper.
You're quite right.
And he was in jail.
Yeah. He's
being punished properly now.
No, I think he's dead.
This video is currently 25 minutes.
We can pause it. It's fine. Yorkshire Ripper was named after the Jack the Ripper, basically. So he was a fucking notorious.
Oop, I kicked the.
He killed 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 people, 12 ladies.
Are they all women?
All women. So let's give a little let's read a little bit of this. Police chief said good riddance to the Yorkshire Ripper and prayed he will rot in hell after his coronavirus death yesterday.
How old was he?
Give me a second. Evil Peter Sutcliffe died aged 74 after bragging to a pen pal that he wouldn't catch COVID-19 as he was much safer in prison than those in the outside world. Basically, Peter Sutcliffe was a dickbag who never showed any remorse. Much like things like Bundy. So he never showed any remorse. He wanted to kill all these women. Didn't give a fucking shit, basically. All Yorkshire ladies, all beautiful, fabulous women. I don't give a shit about the Yorkshire Ripper. He's died, but I don't give a shit about him.
The title of this article is "The Final Frontier for Energy."
Fab. I'm in it.
What's it about?
I'm gonna lick it in the face. Something about either nuclear or wind or something.
It's not nuclear. We did talk about nuclear earlier yesterday.
Is it wind or...
No, it's space. The final frontier. It's a Star Trek reference. I'm really drunk. I'm really feeling it now. I need to eat something.
I think they're gonna know we're drunk at very least.
The Final Frontier for Energy. This basically outlines the plan for the UK to invest in and create an orbital solar collector energy network. So if you imagine that in space, out at various, I'm not sure about what exactly this says, but the ideal would be in sort of geostationary orbit. There would be these giant mirrors that collected all solar energy, and then there would be an apparatus that would beam that energy back to the UK, presumably, in the form of microwave energy, and then it would be collected and used to create energy to power homes.
Exciting.
Which is the most fantastic science fiction ever, and it's amazing. And the UK has a plan to invest in this. I knew Japan had a plan to kind of try this out. I didn't know the UK did, but that's absolutely fascinating. And one of the things that I think is the most interesting is what do you think it costs to launch an object into low Earth orbit per kilogram?
At least
what do you think it costs?
$500 million, at least.
It is much less than that.
Oh, really?
It is currently at or just below $3,000
What?
to launch a kilogram of something into low Earth
cheap
orbit,
shit.
and it should fall below 1,000 in the next 5 years.
And that's
launch
probably
an object
because
into
of
low Earth orbit.
Mr. What's his face?
Elon
He's
Musk.
been making it much more of a feasible.
So it'll be much more feasible to create these kinds of fantastic sort of low Earth orbit, high Earth orbit.
That's really exciting. That's great.
Think that it's relatively cheap to put something up there.
Feasible.
it is feasible, and that could be one of the solutions to the carbon energy.
I'm glad the UK
sort
is
of
looking into that, even though we're
it's apparently
with all sorts
they
of
already
shit.
have a plan. It's they've already got the five satellite solar power station envisaged by the government will cost more than $10 billion. But $10 billion really
comparatively
is not really all that much. So there is space-based solar microwave energy in the UK. Boom, that's fucking cool. So what's your last thing, and then we'll...
Last thing, fuck.
I want to point out that nowhere in this paper did I find anything about sports. And you have a whole sports section.
Oh my god, I have a sports section. What I want to do is I want to go to the text maniacs section.
Wait, I lie. There's one page.
Real people texting in to the Daily Star to tell them their opinions. I thought that might be entertaining.
I'm gonna kill myself.
I think I might kill myself. So here's a good one. This is a text from a human being. Please don't be so hard on Dominic Cummings. He has done the tourist trade in Barnard Castle area no end of good. I am clearing out the spare bedroom to take in bed and breakfast just now. Everywhere else is full up. By the way, it's my husband's birthday next week, and I was wondering if Neil McKinnock's son would deliver him a cake. Bet you won't print this. Barnard Castle has done well by fucking Dominic Cummings being a dickbag, basically.
I mean, they're probably not wrong.
They are probably doing some decent tourist trade out of that.
Who's that person they mentioned at the end? Neil
McKinnock.
Who's that?
I have not a fucking
Alexa, who's Neil McKinnock?
Here's something I found on the web. According to Wagner.edu, but what people tend to forget is that Neil Armstrong...
Alexa, stop.
There's another really good one here. Okay, no less what I expected of the arrogant, spoilt brat Trump. He is spitting his dummy out like a petulant child. He is now going down a legal route because he thinks the results are fake. Except the results, instead of being an arsewipe brat,
he knows.
Even the right-wing people in England know he's being a fucking dickbag. Okay, so here's one more beautiful one.
One more.
The turnout for my anti-lockdown protest.
Anti-lockdown
protest.
So what were they?
That I organised was a complete success. No one turned up. Hey!
Okay, so that was
right-wing newspapers.
That was the Independent weekend from November 14th and 15th. Left-leaning newspaper, and the Daily Star from the same time period.
It's 80% tits. I'm not gonna lie to you, it's 80% tits.
This video is 40 minutes long.
Good.
Thank you so much for tuning in to Drunk News number 2, hating on newspapers, Electric Boogaloo. And
I had fun. Did you have fun?
I had tremendous fun. Next Drunk News session, we will be joined by one or both of our international correspondents.
One from Florida,
Austria and America.
That'll be exciting.
It'll be great.
I love them both. They're delightful.
They're wonderful.
People.
And they will also be drunk.
And very attractive. Both of them are good-looking human beings.
I resent that you said that.
They are good-looking.
I mean, Brittany is, but
Marcus, though.
Top knot.
Meow.
Top knot.
Still good-looking.
Enjoy the rest of your day. And we'll see you again next week. Thank you.